This one was pretty fun because we sat down with Jamie, marketing manager extraordinaire of Heritage Bank of the Ozarks. Got a great relationship with Heritage Bank and the things they're doing, and they're a true pillar of Jacket Nation sports and the things that we're trying to do there. And so, but Jamie and her sister Joanna have a great story about marketing and the mistakes and the things they learned and how they've evolved. And we talk everything from mementos and journals to attention to relatability. So really proud of how this one turned out, and I'm really thankful that Jamie sat down and shared her story with us. So appreciate you being a part of this, watching this conversation. If you've stumbled across this video and enjoy the content you're about to see, please do us a favor. Like, follow, subscribe, smash the button, all the things, because it gives us more opportunity to do these sort of things and help bring stories and things that are happening in our community. So, yeah, check out the interview because it's different. People don't understand these things.
Yeah.
They don't understand the power of them.
Yeah, I think my goal for that is stories. It's just 100% storytelling. We do a little bit about like who you are outside. For him, it was like who you are outside the classroom, but like it was really about like how I was like, you created these very successful agriculture education programs. What's your secret sauce? Anyways, so, and with the governor, I texted him because he was our state senator. I've got to work with him in state politics for a number of years and can call him a friend. So I texted him. I'm like, hey, do you want to be on my podcast? And he's like, yeah, sure. This is the very first interview I've done since leaving office.
Oh, I had to feel kind of cool, huh?
I was like, ooh. Yeah.
I get it.
I was like, oh, what are we going to talk about? No, but like, I was like, who cares about politics? I want to know about you. Let's talk about Mike Parson. How'd you get here? Oh. Like the story behind, like, there's no partisan, there's no bipartisan. There's just him as a man, him as a farmer. So,
and I think that's why these work and why they resonate. And we're seeing it change. Mm-hmm. But like we kind of joked about, like they're everywhere, but they've been mislabeled because there are podcasts, but there are podcasts for fun. Mm-hmm. We produce some girls talking smack and doing their thing, but there's high level conversations that are happening that are also happening that aren't being recorded, but now's the opportunity.
They're natural, organic, they're real. And I think authenticity in the world of media is what news is lacking. I did broadcast journalism so much of my career, and it was facts, short form, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. The TV show I did was short, quick. This, you get to be real and long form and have no rules.
Right. And you can edit, but that's the other good thing is like we have some times with Jacket Nation Sports, only once so far have we had to edit what a kid said, and I won't get into what he said, but it really, bleep. It was way more out of abundance of caution rather than he'd said anything. Sure. And it was just like, hey, let's not even chance it. But other ones like I've done with Tristan from Mizzou and Coach Woods from Springfield, like we don't edit them. Like if you just talk about what you say you're going to talk about and highlight the spots and then listen to what the other person says, that's another thing is like not interrupting.
Well, and that's when people will like, well, can you send us your interview questions? No,
don't do that. We don't play that game.
I don't know what I'm going to say. I don't know what I'm at. Now I come with an idea because in the moment I don't want to miss something.
Right.
But I don't want to tell you what I'm going to ask because I don't know what I'm going to ask. Right. I'm going to listen to you and then I'm going to feed off of you and dive deeper into whatever you're saying. So,
but there's also that fine line, and I've made the mistake, 3-hour conversations, and you're like, no one's probably watching. Yeah. But then there's key moments.
Yeah.
But that's the power of the short form and blending it all together because you can pull out that specific moment, and if you're building the audience, like it helps build the audience, it helps authority. It helps consistency. It helps the quality, especially like as you're growing, the opportunities and the things you do. So let's kind of timeline it just a little bit.
You tell me when.
We're leaving all of this in, other than like right before we start talking about the governor. That's where we'll start it.
No,
so
it's okay. You can talk about the governor.
You did say the S word. You dropped an S bomb. We might.
I didn't think about. We were on. I didn't see the red light over there.
That's all right.
Okay, you can edit that out.
I'll make it work. Timeline. Where are you at now? Like, what's life got you? What's got going on? I know being a mom's a big thing.
Yeah, I'm a mom of a 6th grader and a kindergartner. They're involved in anything and everything. We also farm. So we have we run cattle and we show cattle and we show pigs. We have horses. So our kids, like spring break, we don't vacation. Harper's in the show barn, or she's at practices. And so we're busy. Kevin and I have, when we decided to have kids, we always wanted kids, but we didn't want to change our life because we had kids. We wanted the kids to be part of our lives, and we chose to be busy. I'm busy, but that's a choice. Yeah. I want to be busy. I don't want to sit at home and twiddle my thumbs. We have our hands in lots of things. As I get older, I'm learning how to prioritize and say no more, and say yes to things that like bring me joy. We're very involved with our church.
You're not that Mary Kondo lady from Netflix. Did you go through that deal?
No.
Remember when that was?
I don't want to declutter.
She does it find you joy? Trash. Does it find you joy? Keep it. That was huge.
Everything in my life brings me joy, and that's what's hard. It's like, no, I can't make those decisions. That's too hard. Right. I just keep it all.
What was her name again?
Marie Kondo.
Kondo, that's it.
Maybe.
I'm in team never watched a show, but I got to watch everybody talk about it.
Well, it started out as a book, right?
Maybe.
You didn't I didn't read the book. I just think I heard about it and was like, oh, yeah, that's nice. And I'm cheers to you for trying.
Like, it was a tidal wave of like people started talking about it.
No, I mean, I think priorities change, but I still want to keep my house. I want to keep everything. I'm a hoarder.
Right. What's like your one not throw away, never will keep all the time?
Everything. Look, I have no issues throwing away every kindergarten coloring sheet. You get that, this.
Yeah.
In the trash. That's gone. But things from my dad, things from my grandparents, like those mementos, great grandparents, dishes that were my grandma's.
Okay. All right.
Those I'm like I almost start crying. Super sentimental person.
Gotcha. Go ahead.
Yeah. So like those things that like I'm like, oh, that was grandpa's. I can't get rid of it.
Fair though. I have a few of those, but for me, it's moved into the digital stuff because, like you, we have a bit of an age gap in our kids. One's 20, one's 6. Little bit bigger age gap, but like I learned so much with the 6-year-old that I didn't learn with the 20-year-old, and so now like I look back and I have a timeline from literally 2 minutes after she was born that I don't
those
want.
Photos.
Yeah. But it's really cool because I also have the starting timeline of Allie at 13 being a sister because I didn't get that. So like, or I didn't get to see her be a sibling until she was 13, which was awesome because it was a little bit more of a sibling, like she's older. So she's kind of absorbing it and that. So like, that timeline in my phone is like constantly making sure backups.
I've had the oh crap moments because you lost a phone, you didn't back it up. You think I work in a tech world, media world, marketing world, digital world, and I sucked at backing up, and I did lose a phone that had some of those moments on it, and it's heartbreaking. Every time Apple says, "Do you want more iCloud storage?" I'm like, "Yes, I'll pay for that." Always, yes. But I do have the dishes thing. My grandma gave me a set of. My grandma was a big garage sale lady, and she had a garage sale store. Like literally, like she would go to garage sales on
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then resell the garage sale stuff on Saturday and Sunday and it was called Jesse's Necessities. And she kind
of like her little flea market booth.
Yeah. So it was funny, but she had a set of not mugs, pint glasses that were the 1978 Missouri Tigers football schedule. Mm-hmm. And so I've got one left, and like that's a kind of a cherished thing.
We have Kevin's family, Big Mizzou, all alums and stuff, and we have a set of those Mizzou glasses. I think there's a set of like 8 or 16, and they've got the schedules on them. Right. I have to go look at the years.
Yep, that's the one, because it's kind of like that highball glass, so it's not like a pint glass. These are like...
They're tall and skinny.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what... Then I think I might have 2, but like that was one thing that she had, and they got like the ink on the side, like it's almost like puff paint.
Yes.
And so those sit in my cabinet, and I've got a few other things.
Do you use them?
Because it's like the perfect glass of water when you need a glass of water, so...
Yeah. Well, my great grandma, she was an estate auction attender. And so like, I remember going to estate auctions.
Hold on. So she was a hoarder. Like, are you churching up that if she attended them, but she bought everything? Right?
No, she would collect pretty things. She was a collector.
Bless her.
She was a collector. I like that word because I was getting ready to call myself a hoarder. And I'm like, I just am very sentimental. I remember, this is ridiculous. I don't know how old I was, but my parents got a new couch.
Okay.
And I cried in my bedroom because they were giving our old couch away. That's how sentimental I am about ridiculous things.
You're next level. Like Crystal's like really good about like, it's trash. Like, let it go.
As an adult now, like, I mean, yeah, like I'm not attached to certain things, but then like looking back, there are certain things I'm so attached to.
Right. Well, it's cool though. And like I said, it's just the growing world where 20 years from now, most likely that stuff is going to be in your phone. Mm-hmm. It's not as like, you can't reach out and touch it as much as some of those things, but I think it's always cool to have them. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I've got a box where my mom kept kindergarten stuff and high school football photos and things like that. But
I definitely kept more for Harper.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel guilty about throwing more away.
I feel guilty. I feel guilty all the time. Like I said, because with the dynamic of having a 13-year-old and a 6-year-old and now a 20, or a 13-year-old and a newborn and now a 20 and a 6-year-old, it is also different. We're different people.
Oh, yeah. My brother was 10 years younger than me.
Okay, so you know all about that.
100%.
Is it? You think it's helped you now with having a slight age gap there?
I don't know. I've never thought of it like that. Yeah, I'm sure like he had 3 moms, not just one, because my sister was 7 years older than him. And so, well, actually 4, because like there was another friend of the family who he went to daycare with. So yeah, I mean, I think, and now I look back, I don't think of him being 10 years younger than me. We're peers, and best friends. But I think growing up, we definitely were raised different. But we're different people. Our parents were older, and I don't know. It's just different times.
I joke. I have 3 wives. One is 6, one is 20, and one is the age that she is that I won't be able to say.
Good job. You didn't say that. You didn't say that.
So I live in a house. I've been blessed to be around strong women my whole life, and it's really cool to see. And that pack of women just keeps getting bigger and stronger with the bookstore and the things we do with that. They're doing
awesome things.
And those two, and they've became this, it's what started as like cutting hair together, then turned into the Scissor Sisters together, and now the Book Burrow, and like we can't get away from like alliterations or whatever with letters, but it's pretty awesome to see. But let's talk more about what I'm hoping we can talk about today. But right now, like marketing is pretty much your world. Like I'm going to guess here, but like taking family aside, obviously, but career world, 80-90% marketing, 10 to 20% ag kind of thing, right? Fair statement?
Yeah. I think that my marketing brain has always been there. It's like this innovative idea person. And so whatever I've been, whatever career path or whatever's in front of me, I always have that type of thought process going on.
just mile a minute in your head, options, ideas.
Yeah. I have to, like, you've sat in meetings with me when we're talking work stuff and strategy. My brain is like, and I'm like, oh, I have this idea. And it probably hurt when Joanna and I were running our marketing company. I would spit off ideas before they were really clients. And I got burned.
Oh, now you're talking.
Straight up burned. Because they'll steal your stuff.
Story of my life. I'm looking at the camera. Specific story of my life right now.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to. And so, like, you know, Joanna probably now just kicks me under the table, but I've learned because it's like these ideas are just like bam, 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 bam. Or if someone's telling me, well, they're wanting to do X, Y, Z. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, we can do blah, 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 blah. And then you spill it out and then they don't hire you and you see that idea. And it's like, dang, if I would have just not opened my mouth.
Right. Yeah. And it's hard, but it's also like, that's, I think, part of the struggle when you're running the business side, because
you got to pitch.
Like, it's got to stop.
You got to sell yourself.
Yeah. Something has to stop, because at some point you have to make it make sense. And it has to, you don't always want to wear the profit hat. Like that's not, you're not walking around seeing dollar signs over people's heads, but you're seeing opportunity over people's heads.
Yeah.
And then you're
concepts.
Right. But then you don't want the focus to be, how do I capitalize? Because like with us, and we've said it a bunch, like coming into this world with the we just want to help has been kind of off-putting in the business world, I think. And I personally finally realized that like that approach doesn't always work.
Pay bills.
Right. Helping does not pay bills. And but that's not, and I don't say that negatively. It is not like, it's just, you have to at some point draw the line and gain the confidence, because I think I've said it before, imposter syndrome hits me pretty hard a lot of times. And I think in an industry like what we're in that marketing world, like if you don't have that degree, then you aren't good at it.
Let's talk about that.
Okay. Yeah. What do you want to talk?
I have a master's degree.
Okay. Awesome. I'm jealous.
Right. Why? It doesn't matter.
Right.
Nothing I do day to day in marketing did I learn in the classroom.
You might have learned a system, maybe how to make a presentation.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Like, but
the power of a presentation, but not how to make it, because it's changed.
Right.
I don't use Microsoft Publisher anymore. I don't even use PowerPoint, you know? So now what did college get me? A network.
Yep.
A network of people I can call anywhere across
the country. Right. Same with real estate for me.
Yeah. I mean, a core group of women that I went to college with that are my best friends. College got me that. College got me opportunities and my foot in the door many different places. I was in agriculture, or I was agriculture major, agriculture communications major. When people thought, oh, so you talk to cows? I do talk to cows.
College me would have, that's exactly what I would have.
Yeah, you would have been like, and I'd have been like, idiot. No, I mean, I got that a lot because agricultural communications was farm broadcasting.
Which has changed completely.
100%.
It's really cool to see that industry embrace technology.
Absolutely.
It also, from a social media standpoint, not just scanning animals or, tech, but like you see some like RFD TV and they're next level in the things that they're doing.
They're getting there. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And so I learned so much, but most of that, I still loved like my public relations classes. My journalism classes, how to write. Okay.
I failed.
Yeah. So those are a few classes. My ag classes on true concepts of I took soils, I took business marketing, like economic classes. I took animal science classes. What else? I took them all. You had to, you're supposed to. So that diverse, but I also was an ag teacher, so I did need that. And I was in the classroom. I was taught how to teach. Teachers need to be taught how to teach. And I can go political, but we probably don't want to go there.
I'd rather not.
But a degree in teaching is important. A 4-year plus degree in teaching is important.
Right.
That's all I'll say. I learned how to do that. But marketing, I remember one of my college marketing classes was the 4 P's in marketing: product, price, placement, and promotion. I don't know.
I think that's something.
I made up 4 P's, but I think that was like that was in the book how you're supposed to do things. Okay, they might be tried and true, but throw all those out the door.
Right.
Marketing is so much more of that, and I don't know if you want to dive into my philosophy yet, but college is great. I have a master's degree. It doesn't matter. That doesn't make me good at my job today.
I think more and more we're starting to understand that college, aside from specific, not trades, specific programs, teachers, doctors, lawyers, accountants, things, there are some, but to me, employers really the whole time have just wanted to see a commitment. That's all that, like, C's get degrees. The degree is the commitment. If you can commit, and it's the same probably with the military, things like that. Like they raise you up because you have that ability to buckle down and start something and finish something. But
we also require, going to college, we were requiring these 18-year-olds, 17, 18, 19-year-olds to create a major, decide on a major. I didn't know what I wanted to do at 18 years old. My career path has changed and evolved. So just yesterday, this idea was pitched to me and I'm like, I love it. It's going to be in my new soapbox. But college degrees, get rid of the gen eds. Why are we taking those? Go straight to what you love and what you're passionate about. Those passions get that commitment. They get you in that classroom to learn from those professors who are passionate about that topic.
Right, it puts people, we talk in like the business world about being rooms. Yeah. Like, why aren't we in more rooms quicker? It makes total sense to me. But I see, because I struggle.
Get teachers in the classroom faster. Right. You can't, student teaching is the number one best experience for a teacher.
Right. I see that happening here with some
shadowing.
Job shadowing. Like one of the, Balin is already at pre-K. I've watched that kind of develop in kindergarten and or not kindergarten, but on Facebook, and then into she's almost out of school or graduates this spring, but has done so much already. I think, because again, get people in rooms. The passion is the fuel. You can continually just grow that, and it does. It's an antiquated system. I argue with buddies in sports about this, like NIL and all the things happening, and they always go back to eligibility, and I'm like, eligibility was made up in 1970 for what they were doing in 1970. It's probably time to relook at that and go, let's go, capitalism, they're being paid. There's a market saying that they should be paid. Judges are starting to, not all, there's still cases, but like the mindset is shifting in that particular thing. And so but it's the same with you, like what you said, why are we still doing 1947 culture and education? But it seems like college is the only one not changing, right?
Right. Well, in our high schools, and we're getting off into the weeds, but our high schools, there's so many AP classes. Right. Our kids are graduating and they're jumping into sophomores in college, not freshmen in college. There's a reason that it's not always great to just jump into the workforce. Right. I want every kid to move out of their parents' home after high school. Go get messy. Go make mistakes. Go work and earn money and pay bills and join clubs in college. make a new network of friends.
Right.
That's where you have this opportunity. You can always, mom and dad are still there, grandma, grandpa, whoever. You have a support system at home to take care of you, but go experience.
Right.
The big world will always be there.
Right. Well, and they're always looking for experience, but sometimes they get clouded at, if you don't have a degree, you can't possibly have the experience. But then, like you're saying, the degrees, the experience is that you committed, I think, and that you moved in that world. But it is hard because, like you said, and we'll get into it next, marketing is so, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like, to me, it's like moments. And then you build off of them. It's not like, yeah, there's textbooks for marketing and you learn the foundational spot. But like in real estate, and I've been saying it a lot more recently, is like, that's the only, like, marketing is the pillar of real estate because you have to do it. You're being hired to sell a house and you have to immediately jump into marketing and you can jump into it in different ways. And there's traditional ways. And then there's things that we tried to do outside the box and all of that. But like, that's where we learned and that's where I got the experience. But I also had customer service experience from working at Budweiser. So I could combine customer service with marketing and then sales and different things. But I really want to get your take on something before we go.
Okay.
What's the difference between marketing and advertising?
I pay for advertising. I buy ad space. I buy radio ads. I buy print ads. I buy commercial time. That's advertising. I am advertising the brand that I work for.
Right. Heritage Bank of the Ozarks, by the way.
Marketing to me, are you ready for that?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
Marketing to me is storytelling. Okay. When Kim Light called me fall of 2019, I had just had a baby. I had my own marketing company. We had not bought the Hive yet. We had not done that yet. And he was like, hey, I don't really know what you do, but I've seen you on TV and I know your dad and I know you're in agriculture and you do something maybe with marketing. I don't really know. But he knew of me, but he didn't know me. He's like, would you come work for Heritage Bank? And I was like, I do know who Heritage Bank is, but like, I'm not a banker. No, and I don't work for people. I have a company and I have clients. Like I've never put all my eggs in one basket. So I was like, no. No.
Sorry, thanks, but no thanks.
And then I was like, I don't know how to do that. And we talked for a little bit more. This is like a Saturday morning out of the blue. He just calls.
Very old school.
Very old school.
Which
was old school as I answered the phone. It's like now I'm like, I don't know the number. I'm not going to answer the phone.
So much has changed in just that amount of time.
Yeah. So then we met. We met with him and Bill and Joanna. We all met together and my aha moment, and this is probably, they could have taken my ramblings and ideas and gone somewhere with someone else because I probably vomited up all of my ideas in that moment when at first meeting. But I go, okay, well, who are your customers?
Right.
And he told me there are 3 core customers.
They knew him, and that's no shade.
And
I didn't figure they were thinking that way.
Yeah, and they knew them. Oh, yes, they knew them. They had just gone through the strategic planning, and they had identified their core market. Okay.
Cool.
And I go, oh, this is storytelling. I am. Have you ever done Strength Finders?
I am not.
Okay, do it. Strength Finders. I'll send you a. I'm a personality assessment nerd.
I've done a few SWOT, some of those.
That SWOT is not personality. That's your strength.
You how much I know.
Yeah, that's the business, like your strengths, your weaknesses, but that's as a business format.
Okay.
Or marketing plan. So like Enneagram, True Colors, Myers-Briggs, I did another one with work this year. But anyways, my strength finders, I think it's 5 things. My number one strength finder is relatability. I can relate to anyone. I can find a commonality with anyone and that's why I think in storytelling, in interviews, in broadcast journalism, I could connect to whoever was sitting across. And we talked about this the other day. Like you're very relatable, and that's why you can have conversations like this.
Thank you.
And so I was like, oh, I can relate to each of those customers. I can tell their story. And that's when we started having those conversations, which led to, 6 years later, still working with the bank, and not just them as our client. We put all of our eggs in one basket for the very first time in our entire careers, and chose to work exclusively for Heritage Bank.
So now that's got it going. So back to helping doesn't pay the bills, however you want to describe it. What was the first time that you were like, oh, you want me to work for you, or you need this? Here's an invoice. Because for me, it's still scary.
That is the hardest thing to do, is to put a price on your brain, your ideas.
Especially in a world that doesn't understand that happens or is needed, because you cannot just, So when was the first time? I'm not going to let you get away without telling me.
The first time that I had to do it, or that I was like, this sucks, this is hard.
When was the first time it clicked and you went, like, I just had the epiphany a couple weeks ago. Like, I cannot continue not charging, or at least making it known, because to me, it's always been weird. Like stories, and you've seen the back end of Jacket Nation Sports and what we're trying to do. And it's stories, it's relational, it's all of that. But like, I've always felt like you have to tell this long story to connect the dots, because if you just walk in somewhere and go, here's my invoice, when do you want to meet? People are like, whoa.
Yeah.
And that's the bad taste in their mouth. That starts the conversation. So like, when was the first time you were like, I've got this idea, I'm not going to vomit at the mouth this first meeting. I'm going to listen. I'm going to do all the things they say. And then I'm going to come back to them with a proposal. When was the first time?
I don't think I've ever not vomited at the mouth. Let's go back. Like, I think that's probably, I've probably always aired too much. So when I quit teaching, well, I worked in radio, and then I went back and did my post-bac in education and finished my master's. And so like, when I was like, okay, my creative brain is going too crazy, I can't be in the classroom anymore. I started freelancing, and that led to me getting to travel the world. And I charged a day rate. And that day rate was, I was told what what they would pay me. And I was like, okay, I could do that. And then that day rate equaled every day I was on the road with them. And then that also equaled the time I would put into finishing that product after the event, after the travel, whatever it was. And then you kind of gradually increase that day rate. Okay. And I'm like, I want this. And like, okay, that's great. Then I think from then on, when I left that day rate world, which was after, it was probably like 2016, 2017-ish, when we kind of took on different clients. And I think that undersold everything we did until still to this day.
And that's the thing, because I just vomited at the mouth yesterday with a potential new client who literally could utilize every aspect of what we're building here. And when I'm looking and listening to what they're saying, and then I'm like, here's a story. We can plug it in here. We and plug it in there.
Mm-hmm.
And you can literally build out this like marketing ecosystem within this building. But also we were doing it at a way that is so versatile across anything else they wanted to do, where they didn't have to they're putting all their eggs in one basket for part of what they're trying to do growth wise, but also like that would open so many more doors. And so like then 3/4 of the way through the conversation, I was like, I did it again.
I know you need someone to kick you under the table.
Right. And but then I'm also like, I can't just let them leave
without knowing what it could be. Yeah.
Like I have to put the mind map out there.
Yeah.
Because if I'm thinking in a completely different way, that's actually the same way when you really boil it down, like I need you to be able to see, okay. And like I joke and kids say, and we talked about this the other day, like kids say, let them cook. When we're having collaborative sessions or whatever, like I do stop and I'm like, let me cook here for a second. Like, let me just get it out.
Using that.
It's
might make me
fire.
cool.
You got to let them cook. You got to start using it. That's what they're doing. Let them cook. And I'm starting to get called Unc. Like I'm getting called Unc. Yeah. Yeah. That's shout out to Dakota and Macy. But some of the other kids have called us Unc or called me Unc. And then, so I just,
you're old and you're not their dad.
Yeah. And so I just fire back with nephew because they know that's the thing.
That's cool.
But no, back to all of that. Like it is such a struggle though, because like back to the relatability, you don't know what part of what you're saying they'll relate to. So you're throwing little jabs to see where their reaction to see, but then it is still so hard because like I ride these waves of like, I have this really cool idea and I get some momentum and and then when it comes to financially, I'm like, if they say no, it's going to crush me.
Right. Well, and you get crushed personally because it hurts.
Right. And you know it's not
but
personal.
you know it's right. But like you give a proposal and you'll say, I'll do X, Y, and Z for this amount. I always knew we'd give more than that. And you want to say like that line, that number is not negotiable. This is my value, my worth. And again, you really need the job. You need that client.
Yeah.
We never didn't have enough clients. We were to the point at the end where we had to hire or drop stuff. There's only so many moments in a day. I've been an entrepreneur a lot. I guess right now I'm not technically. But so I have that brain, but I'm not a good business manager. I am not a good scaler of like hiring someone to help doing this, being able to afford them, all that kind of stuff. The numbers, I work in a world of like pictures and words. I don't work in a world of numbers. I'm a banker. I'm not a banker. I just play one on TV. That type of concept. I'm not a doctor. I just play one on TV. That's what I say. I'm like, I'm a banker, but I just play one on TV. I really hate numbers. But I have so many young people I've been a mentor for, and I preach this. I preach how to sell yourself, what your value is. Don't take anything less than this. Right. And I preach that. Still suck at it.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. Though.
Still suck at it.
That's what the confidence factor. We talk about getting these kids in here and the confidence it builds. But like, yeah, I have confidence that we can sit right here and I don't worry about how I look on the camera or how I think or talk. That was one of the first like hurdles I overcame.
Do you ever go back and listen to yourself?
Nope.
Me neither.
Nope. Even when I edit them, I
won't listen to this.
Like I'll listen to it if it's like pops up in a reel or something.
Yeah,
but
sure.
Like,
yeah.
But as far as like, because you get paralysis by analysis. And
I'm like, I already listened. I do not need to listen to myself again. I said that.
When I first started doing the real estate videos, I knew that either people were going to love them or they were going to hate them. And I knew my industry was going to just think it was vanity. So I just had
to.
Right. Yeah. And so I just had to be like, somebody's got to do it. It's happening everywhere else, but in this little region that we're in. And if I don't do it, no one's going to do it.
It's hard to be different.
Right.
But we need different.
You need different. You have to reset things that are happening in your industries. You have to reset things that are happening in your communities, and not because you're like they're bad or they're not doing it good.
Right.
You're just like, let's open up the door. Let's, hey, there's not just option A, B, and C anymore. There's D.
Yeah.
This is D. If you want to play in the sandbox, play in it.
I always say that change doesn't mean what was happening was bad. Change means let's evolve and do more. People feel change as a bad word. We remodeled the bank. Oh, it's beautiful. Come see it. But people are like, well, I loved the way it was. Okay, well, guess what? We needed more space. We're growing. We needed 5 more offices and they're all full. We needed to update it, not modernize it, update it and add more. Change doesn't mean the past was bad or what you are envisioning changing is bad. And I think that's something that really goes back to the marketing concept is, we didn't want to come in and overhaul Heritage's identity. That was not what we were brought in to do. We weren't changing who they were. They're who they are. But let's evolve. Let's do more. In marketing, one of the marketing concepts that I have learned that I still is tried and true is the term buyer persona. So they're your customers.
Yeah.
But if you think of Heritage Bank, we technically have 3 buyer personas. And those buyer personas, I think you can divide down to more finite buyer personas.
Some might call those avatars. That's kind of a buzzword that maybe.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Avatars, yeah.
So if homeowners are a buyer persona, under that homeowner buyer persona, you have first-time home buyers. You have maybe people a little bit younger than us, having kids, more kids. We're done having kids. I am at least. And they made a little bigger home and then maybe downsizing. So, empty nesters. So you can divide that down to smaller buyer personas. So then you take that umbrella, that buyer persona, and then you're like, okay, what's their story? How do I identify with them? How do I relate to them? What are their needs? Problem solving. I'm always, another thing, I'm like, what's your problem statement? I'm a problem solver. Okay, that's marketing.
Yeah.
So what problem do you have? And then I want to solve that problem through marketing. So identifying the buyer persona. What is that buyer persona's problem? Okay. Because of our brand, the brand we did create for them was neighbors serving neighbors. So what is our neighbor's problem? We're going to solve it.
Right. Could be a tractor.
Yeah, I need something.
Could be a small business growing.
I want to buy something. I want to invest something. There's just all these things that could come from, you've got a small business owner and we do commercial lending. Well, underneath that, is it a line of credit? Is it the purchase of something, the expansion of something? So anyways, all those things, I can relate to that. Right. I can talk to them. But we don't sell products. We sell people.
Right. You
come to us because of the people you trust. And banking is about trust. Those are things that I had never thought of. I'm not saying I had to learn because you kind of innately know that you trust your banker, but I never had to experience that.
So when you were sitting down, let's go back a little bit, 2019, because when we have a little bit of gap in what we've talked about so far, but 2019, Kim and Bill call you. You sit down with them. Mm-hmm. Did you vomit at the mouth?
Oh, I know I did. I don't know what I said, but I'm sure if Joanna was sitting here, she'd be like, oh, yeah, she did.
Okay, and I want to circle back to Joanna. So, but how did you – so you have a group of business people that are very involved in the community that understand, they relate to Lebanon community. Mm-hmm. They don't necessarily relate to transitioning to 2020, 26 marketing. Mm-hmm. They've never maybe made it a priority. Mm-hmm. They clearly did a year before you came in or before they met with you. But how did you, what was the pitch in a short answer to show the value of them. Like they proved to you that they were putting value in this potential opportunity. What was like your pitch to them that, hey, really awesome, you're doing this. Now let's compound it. Like, here's how we do it. Because again, kind of circling back, like the value of our brain, your brain, my brain, that isn't on paper. I don't know. That's a weird question.
It is. And that would, the conversations that they had behind the scenes, I have no idea. Right. We knew that was probably the first client as far as they basically a retainer with us. Right. For this price, we'll do whatever we need to, night or day. Essentially a salary position. But it was this one, a dollar amount that we will do. We knew that was probably the first time that we were like, we have to get our full value. And I think the first year or more, it was equal, but then you just get more and more. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I can do that. Right. And you realize you're underselling yourself. So I think I guess to go back to the question that I think you asked, I'm not sure.
Guilty. But,
that happens all the time. Is we did provide them a formal proposal. I don't remember exactly. We signed a contract with them. So I guess,
right. Fancy.
Yeah. I don't even remember, but that was before ChatGPT, and I could just ChatGPT. What does this contract need to have in there? I don't know what this means. Should I put this in there to cover my?
Help protect me at the most basic level. Let's start there.
Yeah, CYA. I don't even know what I was saying.
Well, I think the question. Well, you helped me actually simplify the question. Like, how did you prove to them the value of what you guys brought to the table?
I don't know.
You don't? I
don't remember. I don't know. I mean, I think that we were willing to sit and listen and learn. I think that I did not know anything about banking, but one value that they may not have realized at that time, that the contract signing day, whatever, was you have to sometimes think, like that consumer, that neighbor. We didn't have a neighbor at that time, but they think as bankers. Mm-hmm. We're not bankers. We don't know what those acronyms are. We don't know what the rate is and why the APY and APR and all these different things. That's scary. And it wasn't the very first, but one of the early campaigns we did for the bank, I'm going all over the place. I'll answer it eventually, was sometimes when you walk into that bank, you feel like a kid.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you saw this, but it was Harper walking into the bank. Well, it was
I remember the
Hattie getting out of her car, taking a deep breath. But when she got to that bank, she was a kid. She's scared. She's worried. She's going into the bank. Maybe she's asking for a loan. Maybe she's opening her first account. Maybe she's got money to invest. Maybe she's overdrawn and needs help. Whatever it might be. Maybe it's simply ordering checks. We have to demystify this intimidation factor of banking because finances are intimate.
Okay.
Are they not? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so to really...
It's why people go away from their local banks too. I mean, I'll be completely honest.
Yeah.
They don't want to share that intimacy of what's going on in their life.
So when you walk into our bank, we want you to feel confident and that we trust and we feel trusted, and that you can walk out, head held high, that we're here for you, no matter what that situation is. There's no dumb questions. And so that was one of those things that I think we were able to create, was this relatability in banking. In journalism, they teach you to write at an 8th grade level.
Really?
Yeah. You don't want to read the paper and have to Google words. You want to quickly read the paper or read an article, and there's different, if you're reading the Wall Street Journal, there's a different level of writing, right? But when you're reading blogs, when you're reading the newspaper, and you're reading things like that, you're taught to be simple, be direct. Don't overcomplicate the language you're trying to use and share. But that's how I approach marketing. We don't want to intimidate our customers, our neighbors. We want them to all be able to quickly understand and get it. So we kind of throw that out back. Like, well, what do you mean by that term in the banking world?
Right. You want to make them relate. You want to help them relate to what they're needing, and back to that relatability thing. And I think, like I said, it's so weird because like I've been in some high level rooms recently, previously, like, but I'm in rooms with 15-year-old kids who are taking their driver's test the next day, and they're so excited. And like, back to that whole relate, like there is, if you just take some time and like just listen and then travel down what path. You can do that in the marketing world. You can do that in the business world. You can do it in the sports world. It's really cool. But I think you answered my question. Okay. At least you did for me. If they're watching, I don't know if they will.
Still listening.
But again, it is, I think the value is, it's foreign to our community at times of what really goes on behind the scenes. Small businesses think my marketing is posting my hours on Facebook. And yes, that is marketing. But like, marketing is also how you got people to like your Facebook page, or marketing is how you get people to know.
But I think about like, is marketing getting people to like that Facebook page? You want them, through your marketing, you want them to want to like that Facebook page. It's not, and sometimes you do have to tell them like and subscribe, or how to download or whatever. But you want them to want you, and you want them to want you when they need you. Not every day does someone need the bank. Right. Not every day are people willing to change banks.
That's probably a whole conversation.
But when they're ready, you want them to thank you. Not every day do people need to buy a house, or land, or take a loan out for a car, whatever it might be. But when they are, you want them to thank you.
You want to see that, you want to constantly see. Well, you saw kind of the thing that we're looking at in the Jacket Nation Sports side is people want their name associated with moments that they remember. I probably butchered that, but like that's the ethos of Jacket Nation Sports as we grow it and what we're trying to do. And then we can relate it down in the LEBtv side with moments, community, things like that. So, but I do want to dive in now. And she did answer the question. Trust me, you'll just have to watch and listen to what she said, because there's some good things in there. There's some real good things. You've mentioned Joanna a few times.
Yeah.
I like, for me, working with you guys and seeing you and Joanna very parallel to the Brian aspect of how our businesses. Describe Joanna.
Polar opposite than me.
Okay. How so?
She's an introvert.
Okay.
I'm an extrovert.
Okay.
Did you know that they have a new, because I told you I was a personality nerd. No, my whole family is.
The answer is probably I did not know, but let's hear it.
Yeah. So they're coming out, I don't know, people who study personalities are saying that there's this middle ground between extrovert and introvert.
Odivert or ovivert?
Well, I couldn't even remember what the word was.
Right.
Good job. Okay, that's me.
Okay.
I think I really identify with that because I still have high anxiety. I really lack confidence, want to puke before I get on stage. I have to speak to 400 high schoolers next Wednesday. I have not worked on my keynote speech. I don't know what I'm going to say, and it make my stomach just now.
That was me a couple of weeks ago with Dancing with the Stars.
Yes, it's like. Anyways, it's bad. But so I'm extroverted with the people I choose to be extroverted with.
I wish I could remember what I saw that thing.
I did probably saw this. It was social media. Kevin. he's just an extrovert. He doesn't have that anxiety level. Joanna's a introvert. She's a creative, loves just to sit behind that computer and create. And I, when we owned our own company, we made up our own titles. And I was the communications catalyst, and she was the ideation specialist, whatever. But putting those ideas that we come up with into the completion, whether it's audio, video, photo, she's an amazing graphic designer. She's an introvert, working for home works great. When we were working together at the Hive, I got that because we were in the same office together every day. And this past year, I've been working at home more remotely by myself. And I'm like, but I'm in the bank now. We're done with the remodel. I have an office, so I can see people, and it'd be great. So that's the biggest thing, is I am an extrovert. She's an introvert. Now we can both fill each other's roles. We can chameleon as we need to. She can be me when needed. I can be her when needed. But when you think of in personalities assessments, they talk about what fills your cup up and what drains your cup. And those things, we can be who we need to be in that moment, but sometimes you're just more drained.
Yeah.
She is, if you've heard our story about the Hive, I brought her along to meet with a realtor because I was like, okay, she needs to tell me no. She needs to tell Kevin no. She needs to be that grounded, reasonable voice. And she walks in and is like, okay, I'm game. I'm on board. I see this vision.
You didn't even have to pitch her, really, did?
No.
Like the walk in the door, and you were like, okay.
Well, because she was just dreaming more than me. Because she has an ability to see something in her mind before it's even there. She walked into the front doors of 121 West Commercial, and she could see the offices gone, the ceiling raised, this grand staircase, this open concept, vintage feel. And I was like, I want to invite people to come.
Yeah,
I just want a place for people to come and have fun and to celebrate. That was my vision, but she could see it. So we've been working on plans to build our forever home. We finalize those plans. I have to see it, and I have to turn the page the way if I'm facing west, I'm facing west now. I have to turn the house plans to face west so that I can see where I am. So very visual learner. But she has this ability to envision.
Okay.
How else are we different? I don't know.
From me just seeing you guys interact and work together, it is much more, I would call it, I don't want to use the yin and yang, but you can clearly tell that she has a role and you have a role, but when you blend the roles, there is that time. And that's why I think we relate to kind of what you guys are doing, because it happens with us every day.
Yeah.
I say we should make this content, and Brian's like, man. Then I'm like, but here, let's do this. Show him, and then produce an episode or produce a small little clip. And then he's like, oh, okay. I get it now.
Yeah.
He pulls back. He's very introverted in a lot of ways, socially, and that's not a negative. Just that's how he chooses.
It's different,
right? And I'm extroverted in the grand scheme of being in front. I am learning that I'm becoming. I don't like small talk as much as I used to. I like to
at age.
Right. I'm pulling back a lot of that, socializing outside of stuff. I get to socialize through what I'm doing. I'm on social media all the time. So I fill the void that way, I think. And I just want to spend time with my family and be at home. And I
think that's how your priorities just change.
Right.
And what fills that cup up is just different.
Okay. So I got about 3 more questions we're gonna get to. And I'm only asking this one because you mentioned it. Share with me when Joanna kicked you under the table the hardest. You don't have to go into specifics. Give me a time she checked you and you were like, that makes total sense. Now that
Yeah,
I trust you.
I think it happens all the time where she's just like, shh. I think that as a kid, I would be called bossy or whatever, however you want to use other words to define bossy. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I say what I think. And so there's been times where like, yeah, I shouldn't have said that, but like people know that's who you're going to get with me. You know, I need assertive leadership in my life. I am an assertive leader. I know I am. Today I think of like my role as being offended and embarrassed and, upset when people will call me bossy. Like, no, I'm a leader. I know I am. I've earned that role. I've created a business, a network of the people, an opinion, a brain. I get that I don't lack that confidence anymore, which I always had in the past. But there are many times where I know that I need to reel it in and there's a time or a place. I can't think of like an instance where she kicked me under the table. Usually it's like across the table or across the room, the look. And I'm like, and sometimes I get annoyed with it. I mean, but like, it's like, no, I am going to say this.
But you know it, she'll understand once you say it.
I hope.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what we deal with. Like,
yeah.
The parallels are kind of uncanny and it's different. And, I spend a ton of time up here with Brian and we're constantly learning about each other. We have Bethany here now, and she's kind of a deflector. Maybe it's not the right word. Maybe she's more of a middleman kind of judge, referee, but it's all part of the growth of what we're seeing. And I don't know, I admire you guys' ability to do it because it's clearly consistently evolving, changing, adapting. And that's a neat way. And I think, again, not to continue making the parallels, but the same things are happening internally here. We're all learning. We're all learning.
Yeah, me too. All the time. Several years ago, I guess it was always important, but like we're sisters first. We're not business partners first. We're not colleagues first. We're sisters first. And there's nothing more important to her and I than our family. And I don't mean just like my family that lives under the same roof with the same address. I'm talking about my siblings, my mom. We lost my dad 2 years ago. My aunts, my cousins, my uncles, we are a very close family. Kevin's family, a very close family. There's nothing more important. So whatever issues you may have in or out or differing of ideas or how many times you get kicked under the table, like nothing brings me more joy than raising our kids together. If I could create a compound, I would.
Well, and but you're rooting the decisions you guys make every day in family and your time with your family, the investments you make, the strategies, all the things. And like I said, that's how we work too. Like the goal, and then we take that goal of our families and providing and being there and spending time with them. And then we look and we go, okay, how can we do that with the community and kids in our community and put that, if that foundation and that structure isn't penetrable, then we're going to do the same in business with that aspect of the business. And for Brian, it's quality. Like that's his one thing that,
consistent quality. That is everything he touches.
Right. And that's how we just try to continue doing it through things like this or through the Jacket Nation sports stuff. And so I don't know, it's weird because it takes time. It takes time to be consistent. It takes wake up calls. It takes trust. And I think we've developed those internally together.
Mm-hmm.
We've developed them externally
and
with
I think
relationships.
And maybe I'll throw this question at you because, like, Joanne and I were raised together. Like, we're best friends by birth,
right?
You know, not well. I mean, like kids, you squabble. I'm 3 years older, but that friendship started as little kids, and you ups and downs and pros and cons throughout the way. But like, how did you guys build that trust?
It started with my big dumb animal idiot friend, Timmy. It started when I knew that video was the next way for real estate.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I had to get involved. Back to the confidence side, I knew it could never be me walking around a house on a Facebook Live
Mm-hmm.
saying, "Hi, welcome to this open house," or blah, blah, blah. So I knew I had to, I started researching people all across the country and what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And the consistent theme was the ones that were standing out in the industry were paying someone to take that off their plate,
Mm-hmm.
and then showing up and then consistently doing it. And so Timmy and Danielle had done a video. They were wanting to start a family. And so Brian had done a video for them about infertility and the gym and all of that. And so I had that entry into meeting Brian.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went to school with Brian's brother, who is Bethany's husband. But I called up Brian one day and I said, let's meet. And he came to the office and I said, I want to make things like this, like this, like this. And he said, okay, like, how so? Like, what, like,
why?
And I was like, well, I said, it's going to start when someone calls me to list their house. I want to basically create a movie every time they do it. And I want to give that value to the client and know that if you call me, you're going to get something like this. But it was the relatability. Like it was none of it was, each one was a creative moment. It was, hey, come look at our house. Then I would go and talk to them about listing their house. And then as soon as I got the yes, I would call Brian and I would say, hey, this house has this really long, like the first one of the first ones we did has a really long kitchen island. I want to show off. I want the perspective of gathering around that and what that looks like. So I want to start by sliding a bottle of beer from one end to the other. And I want it to slowly go across because I want to show. And he said, okay. So we met and I said, I don't think anyone else is going to do this, but I need to lock in like an agreement. And he said, what do you mean? And I said, I don't want you to lose any opportunity because I'm not the most well-known agent. I don't have this huge book of business. It's not going to be consistent, but like, how can I lock in a 6-month agreement to where at least you tell me somebody else is going to do it? Because I think if I do 1 or 2 of these, more people are going to want to do it. And I don't want to tell you no, and I don't want you to have to tell them no, but I need some like stability in our relationship so that I can kind of do it. And he said, no, it makes sense. Like, I get it. He was growing his business. We were both trying to find out a new way to do things in a world that was still so cookie cutter. Brian obviously had the skills. And so that's how it kind of, it just kept growing in that regard. I think that I brought to the table the ability to try new things and somebody that would, which is, and I can get into that, and I've had this discussion, but like the goal of doing real estate videos was never to become famous doing real estate videos. It was somebody had to do it. Then that transitioned into, can you do this? Or could you speak here? Or could you do whatever? And I'm like, yeah, but your business could do this too. And you could do it for your business. So let's not talk about me doing it.
If you just go back, it's a story. Like that first house, you wanted to tell the story of this island.
Right.
That's what you wanted to do, essentially. I don't know if you could throw anything at me that I couldn't say that's a story.
Right.
Or what the story is.
Every aspect of it
is.
But it all plays in, and some stories take longer. And you have to.
And some stories suck.
Right. Yeah.
Like that ending was not what we wanted. Scrap.
Right.
Rewrite it.
I don't know. That's where, like I said, that's what we've learned through each other. That's what we've learned in building all of this.
Mm-hmm.
Collab, when I had that idea,
Mm-hmm.
like it made sense and it could have made sense, but then Jack and Nation Sports came along and it was like, we got to move. Like we have to focus on this and build this. Then we can dabble in these other things. And I don't know, it's, to answer your question about the relationship of Brian and I, it was all built on what is he good at and what am I good at? And then how can we combine those to help everyone? And then how can we combine those to help each other? And then now it's how can we help more people doing a similar thing? I mean, you know, it was weird getting called to go to Orlando and go to other place in Florida to speak about real estate, but also speak about the collab side of the building out of what we're doing, because no one's doing that. In a world of, Brian could have easily said, I want X dollars to film that video and you pay me, and he could have walked away. But I said,
contractual, not relationship.
Right. Build the relationship, relate to Brian, what he's going through, understand how he built his business, understand the goals of his business. How can I fit in? And that's what we've tried to do with all of the people that are coming into the door, whether they come into the door and Brian's creating a movie for them, whether it's they need me to help about their fundraiser. Like, we just have to learn what you are. We have to strategize and we have to do it. So I don't know. This isn't about me though. Why are we talking about me?
I know, it's a curious question. Right. But I have something, I have a huge marketing point that when I came in, I was like, I want to talk about this. And then you said something and it reminded me what it was. The biggest, no, I might piss some people off by saying this. The biggest hurdle in marketing is everybody thinks they can do it.
And that's okay to a certain extent. Maybe we disagree on that, but
to a certain extent. I'm glad Canva is out there.
I use it every day.
But Canva is a detriment to marketing. The biggest thing that, like, you can come in, like, when I teach people how to use Canva, the key word is edit. And this Joanna's taught me all this. Because, like, I'll create something and she's like, let's edit this down. Too many fonts, too many shapes, too many colors. You have to create a brain kit and stick with that brain kit. Canva's great, but professionals can use an Adobe product and it's better. Pay. Now, I'm glad that tool's out there. Right. And it opens the doors for entrepreneurs to do more for themselves at free. But that doesn't mean you are a marketer and that you can do it the best way.
Right.
And I think that my husband's had some clients over the last couple of years. Well, I can just do that. You're a researcher. You're a scientist. You're not a salesman. You don't know how to talk to people. You're not a marketer. You don't have any ideas. I mean, those are really strong statements, and none of them are local, so I can say that. Right. But my point is the bankers are great bankers. Let me handle the marketing. The scientists are great scientists. Let them be scientists. Let me help you with your marketing. Let me help you with your sales team. Whatever it might be, is it's really discounted because the technology is great and those tools are great. And I want people to use them, but do some research and learn how to do them well. You can pick a template, a Canva template everywhere. I hate social media today because every flyer, every graphic, you can identify. Now, you can take a great template and edit it down and make it unique and on brand. But there's so many templates out there that I'm like, you have 10 fonts. I can't read that. I can't read that.
Right.
And so I think there's some lessons out there that you have to, and we've taught some, classes because we want to take our skill set, our brain, and share with others. So when we've done those branding classes for small businesses, we want to teach you how to be your own editor because they have ideas. That's great, but you've got to learn how to execute them accurately. And I think that's one of the big soapboxes as someone who spent their career in this media world. We want to share with people.
That's kind of one of our next, I mean, we've talked to you about it. That's kind of the next investment into the companies is figuring out and building a partnership with someone, because I can use Canva. Pro tip though. Canva pro tip. Get on TikTok and fonts. There are lots of TikToks out there that will help you understand font pairings. And then stick to that. And I'm guilty of being across the board. That's also because we're building something and I've got to, but like that has helped me at least be cohesive, understand if I have a headline and do something.
Like I think of Joanna's eye, like what she's able to see and do. She innately has it and went to college as a graphic designer. She studied those classes to learn not just the program and how to use, I mean, because Adobe changes all the time. You have to constantly educate yourself. But the concept of, it's just like my journalism classes. The concept of writing hasn't changed. The rules, APA, whatever it is, like those are still tried and true. Delete the M dash if you're using ChatGPT. That's my one thing, that delete the M dash. Just delete it.
And the overuse of emojis.
Oh, yeah. And
for goodness sakes, please delete your prompt. Just check. If you prompt it to do something, don't include your prompt in the status. But also, pro tip, one thing I have learned is ask AI to AI to write the prompt that you need.
Yep.
And that has been, and at least,
how do I need to ask this question?
Right. However you use it, whether you use exactly what it puts out or you mold what it puts out, like say, if you don't know, if you're not the AI expert, ask the AI expert, which is the AI, which is weird. Yeah. But people don't think to do that. But we do that with like, quick graphic things, like we did the March Madness content bracket thing. It was something fun. If I would have sat down and not just let AI do its thing, I would have psychoanalyzed the bracket and all the things, but I just needed content that was relevant to what was happening and get it out there. So next question, last question. My brain, there's two people that I don't want to say emulate, but I look up to in the marketing world. One, outside the box, different. The other, author, very perfect in regards to like trained, all of that. Gary V, Donald Miller. Donald Miller, story brand. Gary V, lots of cuss words. Gary V, attention economy in marketing.
Oh, I think.
What are your thoughts on attention economy? Because to me, it's brilliant. Because it's like, and I'm guilty. Like you'll see as we roll out the website that we're working on, like attention is key, especially in like small communities. Now, how you go past the attention, but you got to get it. Okay. You got to establish it. So for me, attention economy, poke holes in it.
Depends.
Okay. Fair.
What's the saying? Like, any news is good news. Like it just being in the news is good because it's name recognition, whatever, good or bad. I don't market products. I market people. I market stories. So like if you look at like, our social feeds at the bank, it's people, it's stories. It's how, it's community impact, it's community involvement. That's that, right? What was the term again?
Attention economy.
Attention economy. I am in a statewide banking leadership group right now, and we have our capstone coming up. And the capstone question we were given, I can't quote it exactly, but basically it's the use of technology in banking. Okay. There are quick adopters. Like as soon as that tech is out there, I want it. It doesn't matter the price tag. We're going to get it. We're going to implement it. I don't know if my customers want it. I don't know if they need it, if they're going to be accepting of it. The other side of that coin is I'm not going to touch it. I don't want to have anything to do with it. In the middle, I think that like where I don't really know if Heritage Bank is there. We're a small community bank, but like where my mindset is, as my professional mindset would go, my PR person would say, middle of the road. Let's research that tech. Let's identify it. Let's see if our people want it. Or if some do and some don't, what's that hybrid? There was some study out recently, and they're talking. What's our kids, like our kindergartners? What grade or what's their gen?
I don't even know at this point.
I don't either. But maybe it'd be like Harper in 6th grade. It's this whole whatever Gen Alpha. Is that it?
Maybe. I don't know.
People should fact check us. don't.
What? Question for the audience. What generation is a 6th grader currently in?
Yeah. Okay. So that gen, that maybe not high schoolers, but those junior high up to high schoolers are reverting back to flip phones, removing themselves from technology, removing themselves from the day-to-day doom scrolling and stuff like that, and how we will kind of, the next gen will move back from always being plugged in.
Okay. I could see it to a certain extent.
Yeah. So in this capstone group I'm in, we're tasked with presenting to the MBA board, the Missouri Bankers Board, our ideas, our concepts. And like my group is like, yeah, tech. And I am too. But there's this element of face-to-face interactions that I really see us it negatively impacting us because we removed from those. Like I don't want to talk on the phone. I'll text.
Right.
And there's an element of that. But I think that walking into the bank and talking with a person, a human, someone you trust, will never go away. And I think that the attention economy, I think there's a point at which where, what if we moved away from that? And I think in social media and things like that, like I know what gets my attention, but when it comes to this community, we can keep attention, positive attention outside of digital.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think too, like there's a time and place for all of it.
Yeah.
But I think that's also kind of what we're developing internally for us. Like, like I had this conversation with a group here in town, like they need more than we can provide because they don't know who their audience is. They don't understand anything next level. We can help once they establish that.
They need some more. They need to sit down with a consultant to help identify their brand and who they are, and
then come back to us.
Buyer personas.
Right. When you have that figured out, then we can
maybe I need to set up a consulting business on the side.
Well, that's what, and it's weird though, because like back to what we first started talking about, like it was hard to tell them knowing that there was no money in that, but also I knew that I can't do it for them. Jack and Nation Sports can't be everything for every business. LEBtv can't. There are people that Heritage Bank may not be able to help.
Absolutely.
Like, and when you establish that and you go back to what we were talking about with Brian, I can't make the video. I can't shoot the documentary. I can say, hey, I got an idea of something we should maybe highlight. But if Brian says, hey, you know, that's not here, that's not this role, we have to move to that role or figure out and establish. So that's one of the things, I don't have to get too far into that again, but that's one of the ways that we're understanding. But also, like 2 or 3 years ago, it was, I can do anything, or I could be a part of helping anything. And now we're,
well, I think that's like, I'll say use the word maturity, but it's maturity in your business concept of identifying. Yeah, there was many things that Joanna and I said, this would be a kick under the table. I would say yes to everything. And she'd be like, and that, one of my biggest things as advice I've given, I sat across the mic, has been, I am usually the question asker. I'm doing conducting interviews, and twice recently I've been on the receiving end, and it's weird. But, you know, Abby asked me, I did the Girl Power interview with her, and she's like, well, what's the best advice you have for women or female entrepreneurs? And I was like, say yes and figure it out. Unless it's totally not in your ball field and you're like, I don't even want to do it. But if you want to do it and you want, say yes to those opportunities. There's a point at which in the maturity of your business that you can say, okay, I'm going to say no to this.
Right.
One of those things for us was websites. Could we? Yes. Hated them. It was Joanna could do it, but she didn't like it. It was draining. It didn't fill our cups up. And so that was one of the things. And there was others later that were like, we don't do that.
Right.
And I think that is wise in the business world as an entrepreneur to say like, we don't do this, but we'll send you over here. This person does.
And see, that's been my concept the whole time from the jump. I don't do video, don't want to try to do video, can't learn how to do video. Brian does video. Let's work together. Orson, same concept. Brian doesn't want to fly a drone, isn't good at it. Guess what? We are connected to the best drone pilot there is around. So let's call that guy. Yeah. And he is like...
Lebanon is so dang lucky. And so diverse. I think of like, whether it was the bank remodel and hiring local contractors to do different things, or not contractors, but subcontractors, whatever. We were talking about flooring, whatever it might be. It's like, it's so cool what Lebanon has. We're a small community. You have a space like this. You have a drone, a pilot. Right. You have a expert in any. I think of like the 229 project that April and Danny have done. The group of mentors they've created for these new businesses. I talk so much with my hands. I can't believe I've not just knocked this microphone out of my way. But like, we have such a lucky community, and I think we should all, so cliche, shop local,
right?
Whether it's a bookstore or your bank or your marketing efforts. And if those options aren't here, right, I would rather pay more for here than someone next door doing it for a little cheaper. Like I just think that I'm going on another tangent about using local.
I think what you're trying to get at and what we've talked about a lot is like, check here first.
Yeah.
Look here first.
Yeah.
See, have a conversation. If they have a conversation with me, I end up telling them what they'll be doing for the next 9 months to a year. But again, no, that's the thing. That's where it's really cool, and we resonate with the community side of Jacket Nation Sports. Is it's such a platform to highlight, and it's highlighting 14, 15-year-old kids bass fishing. It's college level athletes, Olympic level athletes, like all of these things. And all we're doing is saying, look at them. And then we get to say to businesses, do you want to be tied to that? Do you want your name out there? Well,
and you're like, you got all these talents. It's not like you're hired a drone expert from Springfield and he's the best. He's here. He's local. They chose, chose Lebanon.
Right.
We all chose Lebanon.
Right. So keep choosing Lebanon.
Yeah. You bred, raised here. No?
Yes.
Kind of.
First grade.
First grade. Okay.
First
so
grade.
not bred, but born, raised here.
Who knows?
Who knows? You know, I transplant my mom.
You said Mount Vernon, right?
Yeah. Go Mountaineers. Bleed green still.
Lived in Mount Vernon back in the day.
You did?
Yeah.
When?
I remember I would have been.
So prior to first grade?
Yeah, I would have been. I vividly remember.
You went to kindergarten?
No, I went to kindergarten at Roundtree in Springfield, but I remember a little white house that we lived in, and I remember a Christmas that I got a helmet, and we had a dog named Lady, and she got hit on the road, and there was a girl that lived like the old country song, like at the time I felt like a mile down the road, but it was probably like, you know, a tenth of a mile. But Barnes, we're friends with some of the Barnes.
Yeah.
Palmer's wife, Mike Palmer's wife.
Yep. From there.
My mom know her. Yeah, we're Greg Barnes, that Barnes family. My brother went to school there. The one thing I do remember from Mount Vernon.
Your brother went to school there?
My oldest brother graduated high school, and he's 50.
You would have known my mom. My mom would have been his high school counselor. Mrs. Bellis.
The one thing I remember from Mount Vernon is my brother was friends with a kid who was in a wheelchair. And I remember like that happening in
What year did he graduate high school?
It would have been my middle brother, born in 78, graduated in 98. So this would have probably been like late 80s. But yeah, because I come from I don't even know how old my brother is, like, because he's so old. But
I hope he's listening. Do you tell him that you're just so old? I don't even know how old you are.
Then I have a brother that was born in 78 that I grew up with because he was in the same, more my oldest brother. But yeah, Mount Vernon. My mom did hair down there, and Hood's truck stop. Like, remember going to those. But like, keep in mind, this would have been like literally from like age maybe 2 to age like 4, and I have vivid memories of Mount Vernon. Yeah. I don't even know what started the Mount Vernon thing.
I was talking about hometown, chosen town. So like my mom grew up in Lebanon. She graduated from Lebanon. My aunt, grandma, grandpa, all that kind of stuff, Lebanon was home. So Lebanon was always the secondary home for us. But for multiple reasons, my husband and I chose Lebanon. You chose to stay in Lebanon or come back to Lebanon. And I think that is my, mantra for all of us is to take advantage, to choose to come back here, to choose to be here and raise your kids here and your families here, but also be a part of the solution of making Lebanon better and using the resources that are so great in this community.
And we have so many more than we had 10 years ago or 5 years ago or
5 years ago.
It's just, I don't know. This has been fun though. I loved hearing what you had to say about attention economy because I think we kind of agree, but I also understand where you're coming from, and I personally can't fall back on that. And that's a growth I need to do, but also you got to get some attention. Like you have to have attention isn't bad.
No.
But you also can't use attention in negative ways to further what you're trying to do.
Or the attention just for the sake of attention. I think there has to be purpose behind it.
Right. Yeah. So no, I respect your stance on that. Shout out to Donald Miller. We didn't even get to get into that. He's big into hero and guide.
Okay. I'll have to look into him. Everybody
else, I'm the guide. Everybody else is the hero. And that's how that's been the goal. It's never been, I promise, and we're saying this on camera, I'll say it to anybody, that the goal wasn't ever to do this. I didn't expect to have a skill set of being able to relate in this type of fashion, but it's here. And I would love to help other people find their skills through it or part of it or whatever. So, and shout out to, appreciate you saying about the bookstore. Those girls are rocking and rolling.
So fun. So fun.
I don't know. And it all started with their podcast. Sitting around.
Well, I think that Joanna and I, like, downtown in 2017 when I first moved back here. It was here 2011, 12 to 15, like here 5, gone to back in 17. There was no small little businesses that made me want to do anything downtown. And I think that people's crazy ideas and the opportunity to, like Joanna and I, we weren't going to buy the building. We were trying to figure out how to lease it. We didn't have any money. We still don't have any money. Like we had bootstrap everything.
Right.
But the bank was like, we can help you with that. You will qualify for some stuff. And then it was like, I never once thought we could.
So it's almost like back to your relatability thing. You were nervous. You didn't understand what the opportunities were, but you met with a group of people that were like, let's bring it down a notch. Let's listen to what you're trying to do. Let's understand. Let's then grow together.
And that's the thing is like to walk down the streets of Lebanon today and to see that business and that, not just downtown, they're everywhere. They're everywhere. To see people's ideas becoming actual. We
were in that group and I said, they were asking about Lebanon and what, and I kept going back to Lebanon has a texture. It's a weird, like to me, that was how I could describe it because it was like, it wasn't smooth walls everywhere. It wasn't fit and
kinda
prim
nitty
and proper,
gritty.
but it was nitty and gritty or it was modern and inviting.
Kind of sticky, made you want to stay around.
Right. That's where Lebanon, I think, was the thing. And it was cool because like there was opportunities across the board. You know, we're very fortunate here that our foundation of Lebanon is pretty stable in that we have manufacturing bases and they're rooted in things that fortunately, for the most part, will consistently continue to be a thing. And then we can build across that. And I think if you just keep those sort of things, and I don't know, Lebanon's a pretty special place. It's different. I never would have thought, you know.
As a high schooler, did you want to stay here?
I didn't know what I wanted to do. To be honest, like in full circle moment, like high school was about, I wanted to be a coach. But I also didn't want to play college football, so I thought that you couldn't be a coach if you didn't play sports. And I didn't have anyone showing me or helping me. And then went to college, and it was just never, I just was not the learning person. I needed to be out there and needed to find somebody that would give me a chance to let the creative side of what I could do work.
And accept it. And I think that, we were an 80s baby, right?
Yeah, 83.
80, and I'm 84. I think that like our parents, maybe yours didn't, I don't know, but like our parents' age, that generation, same career path, the whole careers, their whole lives, you know, maybe, you know, ebb and flow a little bit, but the same concept. And I think that like as creatives, and it wasn't, I don't want to say it wasn't accepted, but I think in the last 10, 15 years, you can profit from being a creative brain. You don't have to pull a 9 to 5 at a factory or 9 to 5 on the farm or whatever it might be, and then be a creative. Right. There's just so much more opportunity and more acceptance of your creative brains rolling out.
The creator economy. It's a thing too. The gig economy.
It's accepted.
Right.
It's accepted now.
Oh, we saw that with COVID. They gave people opportunities to survive that were non-traditional employment type things. So I don't know. It's fun. I still don't know that I label myself creative. I feel like I am creative, but like I'm not a creative.
Well, I am. Okay.
Because I don't draw it or film it.
So you're wrong. So that's, I'll say you are wrong. I used to think that too. Because creators were Joanna. They're artists.
Right.
They played music. They wrote music. They were able to draw and create their hands. my brain is a creation. My brain is creating ideas every single day. Communicating is a creative. I don't like, so I like this whole concept of creation is different. Innovative minds are creators.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Creation doesn't have to be tangible.
I hadn't thought of it like that. Mm-hmm. That's the end of this TED Talk.
Mic drop
moment. No,
I haven't punched it yet on accident.
Well, we appreciate it. This has been fun. It's been different. It's been long, but that's all right.
We're both windy.
Yeah, it's fun to have these conversations, and like I said, I think this is a whole new way to look at things, and I'm excited to bring in. Like, I think this is going to be a much cooler way. Just to give you a little idea, like this is a way that I can, like you said before we started talking, I can break down and let somebody just talk, and then I can listen, help them. I can pull myself back. They can create some content for them. They can kind of see what they look like, because it's still, they're not used to it. We see podcasts all the time. We hear about them and people use the term, but like
mics and cameras are intimidating and scary.
Right.
And this is, we should be done, but I think about randomly found, you talk about like things I don't want to throw away. My grandpa's, there was this random notebook, and my brother lives
cool, like finding that
in my grandparents' old house. And there was this random notebook, and the girls, the kindergartners, Joanna has a daughter the same age as mine. And so they were coloring in it, and it was blank pages. And I see there's this handwriting, old cursive handwriting in it. And it was my grandpa decided at one point to write down stuff. And I see it, and it's about our church, White Oak Pond, great church, and the cemetery and things like that. And it was his words. And it was like that day and that time he wrote down something. And I think of like all the things that we didn't get wrote down of our parents, our grandparents, our great-grandparents. I think of my dad, and I don't have these conversations, and I don't want to get super emotional, but I think of like the ability of podcasts and video. My kids will know what my brain was thinking at 41 years old. I don't know what my dad's brain was thinking at 41 years old.
Right.
And I think the power of that digital content and saving it, and how we can, I don't ever want to go back and listen to my own voice, but I know that someday maybe my grandkids will, and they'll be able to know that crazy great grandma Jamie, cuss on a podcast. You would edit that out, but you know,
right.
you know, those things that like share their personality. And so it's beyond just like these moments you capture are beyond marketing and business and selling a product or teaching someone. It's also about like archiving. And I think you've talked about with Jacket Nation Sports, that archiving of these lives.
Right.
And that's what this digital world can give us today.
And yeah, it's, I don't know, one more thing since you brought it up. One thing I won't throw away, best friend growing up, Chase, passed away, and I refused to delete our text conversation. So I still have that. And one of the last things we talked about was a Kid Rock CD. And so if you scroll all the way through my conversations, one of the very last ones will be ours. And that's one of those. But it's a digital thing, but I can screenshot it and I'll have it. And it's crazy how that stuff resonates and is built upon. You can build upon it. You can timeline. You can archive. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I have my great grandma's journals.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I've typed them all up.
Oh, so you've, okay. Okay.
Typed them all up, digitized them years ago before kids.
Right.
So just things like that, you know, her life in the hills of southern Laclede County, 8th grade education, and her ability to write and share what that morning sounded like and smelled like and looked like in those hills. So
that's a cool thing. I'm glad you have that.
Yeah.
I'm glad for your family and your kids and their kids.
Yeah.
And their kids is kids, something they'll always have. So Jamie, thank you.
Thank you, Ramsey.
Appreciate it.